So it's about time for another Wii homebrew video, don't you guys think? Now, a while ago, we were able to install Windows 95 on this thing. You can check that out up in this card. And we were able to get it installed, though, with a couple of problems, but that got me thinking. What if we take this a step further and try to upgrade that copy of Windows 95 to Windows Me? And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be installing Windows Me on the Wii. Let's get started. But first, I want to give a huge thanks to FastHost for not only sponsoring this video, but for hosting a giveaway of an ultimate tech bundle and dream PC setup worth up to £5,000. If you're based in the UK and want to enter, all you have to do is follow the link in this video's description and answer the techie test question. What was the code name for Windows 1.0? I'll explain more later in the video. Alright everybody, here's a site you haven't seen in a while. Yep, it's the Wii menu. So we're going to launch the homebrew channel right here and get started with it. Now, we've got the SD card inserted into the Wii's SD card slot, and we're going to load up Dosbox here. Now, I did cheat a little bit here because if you remember in the last video, if you saw it, towards the end I tried to change Windows 95's display resolution to a resolution that was higher than the Wii could display, which caused it to just display a black screen when it would boot up, and I couldn't even change it back to the previous resolution. So what I did is I acquired a already pre-installed DOSBox image of Windows 95 and then copied it over to a 1GB hard disk image so that we could copy the contents from the Windows Me setup CD over to that. Just like we did in the last video, it kind of took us a while to get to that point, but just to avoid having to deal with multiple image files, to make it easier for us, we're going to have everything stored on the hard disk so that we just have to mount one disk and not worry about mounting the CD drive, the floppy drive, and the hard drive, like we tried to do in the last video, but ran into some issues during that process. Now, we don't have a boot image, which I just kind of realized we don't have a floppy disk image. I'm going to see if we can start the setup from within Windows 95. I think it's boot-LC. So you can see there's this prompt here and it'll say press F1 for DOS, F5 for disk 2. I can press F1, 2, 3, and 4, but F5 when I press it just shows up as F question mark. It's not able to like figure out that I'm pressing F5, and when you press F1, it just hangs, which is something that we've seen a lot in DOSBox in the previous video. This is definitely not the most ideal way to run Windows 95 or Windows Me or any version of Windows for that matter, but this is a tech experiment and we're just trying things here to see what works and what doesn't. And it looks like that this image that I downloaded is different in some way because it does not, I don't know why it's F1 and then it jumps to F5. Could it not be F2? Alright everybody, so it's been about 30 minutes since that last clip and I've done a decent amount of stuff in that time. I ended up resorting to using DOSBox on my main computer to install Windows 95, to install a fresh copy of Windows 95. So we're using a 2GB hard disk image with Windows 95 installed on it, with the contents from the Windows Me setup disk copied over to it. I also had to open up the DOSBox configuration file that is on the SD card, which DOSBox Wii creates. I had to change the amount of RAM that is being utilized by DOSBox from 16 megabytes, which is the default, to 32 megabytes, which is the minimum amount of RAM that Windows Me requires to install. So, with that being said, let's launch DOSBox Wii here. We're also on a 32 gig SD card now, so that's awesome. The first thing we have to do is unmount the C drive because I do have it auto set to run this img mount 2 command, and you can see that img mount 0, it's not going to be able to mount the floppy disk drive because it doesn't exist. And the reason why we have to unmount the C drive is because we have to use a different disk geometry since this is a 2 gig image as opposed to a 1 gig image. Okay, and then we are going to boot-LC. There we go, starting Windows 95. So this is already set up as I said. And interestingly enough, installing Windows 95 in DOSBox on my computer resulted in the exact same display issues that we had here on the Wii. So these display issues you're going to see, which you'll remember if you saw the last video, are not unique to DOSBox on the Wii. So yeah, here we go. These are the display issues that I'm talking about here. with the giant black square for the mouse cursor and all that funky stuff with the icons, which we should see momentarily here. And here we go. So yeah, you can see that this is just really, really messed up here, but that's okay. So, oh, Explorer performed an illegal operation. This didn't happen under Windows. That's really wonderful. So we should be able, although if Explorer doesn't perform another illegal operation, we should be able to open up my computer. The cursor tip is at the top left corner of this box here. So I have to like mouse over it like this and then click. It's just very, very annoying. And plus the mouse acceleration is kind of wonky because like I get here and then it'll just move ever so slightly to where it's off of the icon. So anyway, here's my computer, and you can see that we have the icons are up here rather than inside of the My Computer window. So here's the C drive. We're going to open this up, and then the icon goes up here to the top left. Inside of the WinMe folder, these are the contents of the Windows Me Setup CD. So we're going to open this up, and we should be able to load Setup here, if we can get right over that. Double click on Setup. I don't know if it registered that double click. Can we press Enter? Okay, it looks like it's doing something here. Okay, we just went to a black screen. Oh, it's the setup loading. That's what it is. You see the yeah, here's the sidebar loading up. Okay. So it's working, but yet we still have this Explorer window on top of the setup window itself, and we don't have any of the graphics that are used. There we go. Okay. So please do not complain about the RAM. Oh my gosh, it's complaining about the processor this time. What? Windows cannot be installed on this computer because the processor is not at least 150 megahertz. So we can change this, I believe. There's a keyboard shortcut. I don't know if DOSBox will register it though. If this is a string in the configuration file, we should be able to modify it. Now the Wii itself has a 729 megahertz IBM PowerPC processor. To adjust the emulated CPU speed, use Control F11 and Control F12. So if we press Control F12, I don't know if that's going to really do anything. I mean, I'm just going to press Control F12 like over and over again. We're just going to try to run, I've pressed Control F12 multiple times. We'll try to run the setup program again. Nope, that didn't work. So we're probably going to have to, well, let's just quit out of this here. Let us go to, let's exit. And yes, it does look like the Wii version of DOSBox does not have the configuration set to cycles equals max by default. So we're going to change that. All right, so we made that change. It was pretty quick, as you can imagine, just changing one line of a text document. And now we should be running at the max speed. Oh, I just noticed you can use the Wii remote as the mouse pointer. I just noticed that. That's really cool. Honestly, like the worst case scenario is I could just load this image on DOSBox on my computer and upgrade to Windows Me from there, and then just boot from that image on the Wii and see if we can boot from it. It should go to a black screen. That's what it did before. There we go. Okay. Go to a black screen. It should slowly load the sidebar. There we go. And it should hopefully not complain about the CPU. Oh, it's going to complain about the CPU speed again. Again, I set it to max. Like, I opened up the configuration file and set it to the maximum speed, and it's still complaining about that it doesn't have at least 150 megahertz. So I think our only option at this point is to cheat. We're going to try to do this upgrade from my computer and then copy the image back over to the Wii's SD card and try to just load Windows Me from there. Before we jump over to that though, I want to talk a little more about that giveaway that I mentioned earlier. Today's video sponsor, FastHost, is a website hosting provider and domain registrar that has everything you need to create a new website. They offer multiple web hosting packages, and each one comes with a free domain for the first year. All of their servers use SSDs and have no bandwidth limits, making for a fast and reliable hosting experience. My favorite feature is the one-click installer, which is also included with every web hosting plan. It allows you to quickly install a wide variety of applications like WordPress, MediaWiki, and even file storage software like OwnCloud in just a few clicks. And if you just need a new domain name, FastHost has you covered as well, with great pricing on the most popular TLDs, including .com, .org, and even .uk and .co.uk. They also host virtual private servers with unlimited traffic if you need hosting for larger projects. But servers are not the only thing that they host, because today, FastHost is hosting a giveaway of an Ultimate Tech Bundle and Dream PC setup worth up to £5,000. This one's open to all of my UK viewers, and all you have to do is click the link down below and answer the Techie Test question correctly. That question is, what was the codename for Windows 1.0? And if you win, you get to choose the kind of PC and setup you want. So good luck to everybody, thanks to FastHost again for sponsoring, and let's get back to it. Alright, so here we are loading up Windows 95 on DOSBox on my computer, and yeah, you can see we still have those exact same graphical glitches that we saw on the Wii. Although this time we're running at a much higher CPU speed. You can see it's set to max up here at the top. And yeah, that is one thing that you can see the current CPU speed and all of that on the actual DOSBox window itself, like on the title bar of the window. Obviously on the Wii version we can't see that because there's no window, it's just the entire application is full screen. So we're going to try to do the same thing, go to my computer, go to the C drive, go to WinMe and run the setup program here. And oh, I gotta change the memory. Let me do that really quickly. Alright, so let's try this again. My computer, C, WinMe, setup. There we go. So now we're checking drive C, and it should present us with the setup wizard here. There we go. Beautiful. Yes, we want to save our existing system files, and we'll just call this the MeWe computer, and we'll just leave it as workgroup computer description Michael. That's fine. Next, begin copying. Oh my gosh, what the... Look at this. Okay, I've like never seen that before. Yeah, this is the sidebar here, and then it's got this image here, and then it's tiled multiple times, and it is changing. Yeah, there's just some really weird display stuff going on, and we saw this obviously on the Wii as well. And I initially thought that it was just the Wii, but then I booted up Windows 95 on this, and I was like, oh, this is the exact same thing. So this is a DOSBox thing, or whatever display driver that it has loaded right now is just really screwed up, but it still works. And that's really all that matters. So we're just going to let it copy these files. It'll take probably about 18 minutes, as it says, and hopefully we'll be able to boot into Windows Me and then copy this back over to the Wii and run it from there. That's the plan. We'll see if we can stick to it. Okay. Okay, so I came back. I went to go do some stuff around the house. And what on earth is this? Look at this! This is like so... Oh my gosh, and you like move the mouse... Oh no, Explorer performed an illegal operation. Well, it got to 100%. Oh, what? Holy crap, okay. What? Do you guys hear that? I'm moving the mouse cursor around. Hang on, let me... This is like something straight out of an Atari video game. I mean, I don't know what... This is so screwed up. Like, look at this. Okay, can we press Alt F4? Like, as I move the mouse around, this happens. So, I don't know, did it install? I mean, it got to 100%. It didn't go to restarting your computer. I guess that's what it would do next. I don't think we have any other option but to force restart. Like, I think that's the only thing that we can do. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. Hopefully it was able to completely install. But if not, we're going to boot up to an incomplete Windows installation, which is not going to be good. Okay, starting Windows 95. That is not... Okay, oh my... Okay, so this appears to be the DOSBox, like the initial screen, although it's completely... screwed up. But yeah, so it's trying to load Windows 95, which, I mean, I can't really even see. This version of Windows runs only on MS-DOS 8. I assume it's talking about Windows Me, but it tried to load Windows 9. Okay, what are we looking at here? Did it not install CD Windows? Oh, all the files are still here. Program requires Microsoft Windows. Maybe it's like a some weird hybrid Windows 95/Me installation, like, cause some of the Me files are there, some of the Windows 95 files are there. I wonder if we can, like, let's do dir sol.exe. Oh, let's see, Windows dir sol. Okay, so it was modified on June 8th, 2000. So this is a Windows Me file. I guess this is trying to load Windows Me, but it showed the Windows 95 boot screen. But it didn't upgrade the MS-DOS version. It's saying that it needs MS-DOS 8. Maybe we can just do a clean install of Windows Me. I don't know what on earth caused the setup to just go to what we saw previously. I mean, I've never seen that before. I've never seen Windows Me do that, but this is just Dosbox, just whatever display driver that it has loaded is just behaving very erratically. Okay, so I wonder if we can just, yeah, we can just load the setup from here. Let's just do that. Alright, so it's running the registry checker now. So we'll see if we get all those display glitches. Although the Windows 95, the initial setup, when we ran that on the Wii and in DOSBox on my computer here, we had no problems with any graphical glitches or anything like that. It displayed totally fine. But when we restarted and loaded into the final portion of the setup, that was the first indication of any display problems. There we go. So yeah, you can see we don't have any graphical problems here. So we're now on the qualifying product check screen. Setup needs to check your setup disk for a qualifying product. This product is an upgrade in Microsoft Windows. To use it, you must own one of the qualifying products listed on the box. Setup has searched your hard disk and cannot find it because all the files have been upgraded. It says please insert the setup disk for your original version of Windows, which is what this is. This is the C95 setup. These are the contents of a Windows 95 setup CD. So we might have to use a full retail, like non-upgrade copy of Windows Me, which I do have. And here we are at the setup wizard. So we're going to go through this again. I accept the agreement. We're going to type in our product key and we're going to choose no. We don't want it to save our existing system files because at this point we just want to do a clean install. So we'll call this once again Wii Me. I think I did Wii before, whatever. Wii Me, ready to begin copying files. Here we go. And here is the moment of truth. Check that out, Windows Me. Here's the wonderful boot screen. So we're not done with the setup yet. We do have to boot into the last portion where it's going to ask us for our time zone and all of that good stuff. But we'll see if we have any of those graphical glitches. My guess is we probably will. And there we go, and we don't have any of the graphical glitches. Okay, pretty awesome. And we gotta restart once more, so I'm gonna have to type that. Oh, your computer failed to reboot. Oh yeah, we gotta power it off manually, so okay. Okay, so we're back. Oh, we've got the wonderful giant square box for the mouse cursor. Although this time we are getting through, like it's going through these setup procedures here, updating system settings. WIAAC-MGR has caused an error. It will now close. Okay. Oh boy. Yep, we're getting those graphical glitches again. Okay, so Agent SVR. I wonder if that's Microsoft Agent. Error has been logged. The installation will continue. Okay. I mean, there's not really much else we can do aside from just clicking close or OK. And you can see that these error messages coming up, they're not stopping the setup window in the background. This is still going along just as normal. But we'll just close out of it there. We got another one, and here we are once again at the boot screen. And oh yeah, we have the exact same graphical glitches that we had in Windows 95 with all the items from the context menu showing up here at the top. Well, we'll just shut it down because I think we can transfer this over to the Wii and try to run Windows Me from there. Alright everybody, so here is the moment of truth. We're back here on the Nintendo Wii. Let's run the boot command and see what happens. Check that out. Looks like we've got the Windows Me boot screen, so that's a good sign. We'll see if it can actually get to the desktop, though. Alright, so we have part of it's either the desktop or a blue screen of death. Take a guess at which one you think it is. It's actually the desktop, as you can see here. Because we've got the mouse cursor that you can see, or the giant box that is acting as the mouse cursor up here at the top. And when we move down, you can see it just disappears. So my guess is there's probably like a login window down here, but we just can't see it. We can press enter. Maybe it'll log in. You can see that the mouse cursor kind of changed positions there, and I did not move it. There it goes again. So it could possibly be that there are windows opening and closing we just can't see them. Maybe it's going through its final phase of the setup before it loads to go to the desktop. Remember, it was trying to do this before, like it ran ScanDisk. We saw this in the previous clip. It ran the desktop version of ScanDisk. It asked us to select our username, and we pressed enter to log in, and then the entire, like, I just couldn't see anything. I could still move the mouse cursor around, but there were no windows coming up, and we had all of those graphical glitches. So we have graphical glitches here, but yeah, I'm just gonna let it sit here, and we'll see if if this does anything. And there we go, we got something. So we do have an error message that came up over this black part of the screen, so that's a good sign. So it says MS task has caused an error in msvcrt.dll. Okay, we'll now close. Welp, we got a exception occurred. Exception DSI occurred. Code dump, and it just restarted. Oh wow. So that could be because of the processor speed, although I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it kicked us out to the homebrew channel. So we can try it again. I don't think it would do anything different, but we'll just try it. We'll say load, and we'll boot up from the hard disk image again. Alright, so as you guys saw, unfortunately, the Wii did the exact same thing. It displayed that error message and kicked us back out to the homebrew channel, which means that we're going to have to end it off for today's video. So to answer the question, can you run Windows Me on the Nintendo Wii? Well, no, not really. I mean, we were technically able to get it installed, although it was on the computer. We were able to get that image set up. We were able to boot off of it on the Wii. We got the boot screen. We got part of the desktop. We could see the giant mouse cursor moving around. We got some windows, but the desktop was not able to load completely because we again got that error message and it kicked us back out to the homebrew channel. So we had much more success with the Windows 95 video, although that copy of Windows 95 that we got installed on this thing was definitely not really that usable. I mean, you could use it, but it's definitely not the way that you want to use Windows 95. But again, the whole point of these videos is not to show you the best way to do something, but to do something a very specific, unique, and sometimes just weird way. And I think this video definitely fits into those categories. So if you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to get subscribed down below and turn on those channel notifications if you haven't already, to get notified whenever I upload a new video, which I do every single week, multiple times per week on this channel. And as always, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.